Hi, everyone. It's Amalia, founder of STEM Braids and Beyond and host of the Silver Bullet STEM podcast. Today's guest, his specialization is in artificial intelligence. And I know everybody's dying for me to ask, is artificial intelligence going to take over the world? Hopefully, he can tell us a little bit about that today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Rohail Javed, and I am very grateful to be a part of this podcast. And today we will talk about artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence is going to take over the human civilization in sooner time or some later time, something like that. So yeah, so I am the software engineer, software developer. Also, I have worked on many different other technologies such as the automation with Ansible, automation with Python, PyTorch, and all those programming languages. Specifically focusing on the cloud platform. We have, like you guys know, like we have the most major cloud platform nowadays is like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. So my expertise are in the in the Azure and AWS. So we do a lot of machine learning application management. We have a lot of automation happening at the back end, where we have all the artifactories working on. We have DevSecOps process, and we do visualizations of the tools, and we use like how the data, how to do the data engineering, and how we can refer in artificial intelligence, within the data manipulation, data architecture, and data engineering. So artificial intelligence, as you guys know, is referred to the is like a simulation of human intelligence. Machine learning, and it can think within the programmed features, right? So which can evolve the machines to think, to learn, and do the problem solving techniques. Essentially, AI aims to create the algorithms that allow computers and machines to perform tasks that to reduce the human workload, or to reduce the human efforts. For example, nowadays, like for example, I can talk about many different technologies, right? So if I talk about data visualization, data monitoring, so we see there are a lot of data coming in, and all the time in different fields, right? For example, I worked at at the National Gallery in Washington DC, so where we have a lot of arts visualization, a lot of arts data, right? So all the time the data comes in, and we have to make sure that how we can ingest the data in the particular algorithms, and how the data can be uploaded itself, and make sure that it can visualize pictures, right? So like the paintings and everything, they are so expensive, so costly. The We get the paintings from all around the world, right? So what we do, like we have to make sure that we can visualize the pictures, and we can visualize how the pictures are content, and how to securely see it for the lab testing and everything. So there we come up with the idea of Azure AI. The AI process can visualize the photos, can visualize and it can visualize the data, and then based upon the data, the media production team, or the team who is managing the whole art system, they can see like how they can how the picture quality is, or what is the if there are any red dots, or and is there any thing missing in the picture, or how they can improve it, so vice versa. I'm not the photo guy, but like I just like a guy who runs the backend technology, right? So this is kind of the performance that happens through the AI techniques. It can learn the patterns. So basically it is learning the pattern in the picture, right? How the picture is patterned, and how it can visualize the data from the picture, right? And then it can send the picture data to visualize at the most popular tools nowadays, like Tableau, or Azure Power BI. So those are all the big platforms and big tools where we can see like how we can visualize the data once we collect that, right? So this is the kind of the overview of how do we think that, right? And it can also recognize a pattern, it can do the problem solving or decision making techniques as well, right? So you guys know about the chat gpt is very famous nowadays, and the people are getting a lot of benefit out of it. The chat gpt is another form of AI, right? Where you can just write the data, write the question, and it can process the data, and it can give you the answers according to your needs and everything, right? So you can ask ChatGPT anything, right? So this is another form of the artificial intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence is like it's work on the neural networks, it's the same thing like the human brain thinks in the human brain do the creativity, do the visualization of the things, and we have axons and dendrites, in our mind, and we have a neuron. We have the whole neurons sitting in our mind. They can transmit the data so fastly, and this is the same concept. The artificial intelligence is kind of the same thing, that it can process the data based upon the human mind, right? So this is and so in the human mind, it's neurons transfer the information, but in AI we call something called weights, where we have the weight barriers from how could we manipulate, or how could we recognize different type of data, right? So it's a very big topic, and it's very interesting, and it's going very far nowadays, so I have a book I will show you guys, like what book I'm reading, and how I learn more about the AI. It's definitely being done by daily task and everything, but I will recommend you guys the best book that you can choose, and start learning if you guys are interested in it.
Beautiful. One of the things you spoke about was
Mhm.
about art and AI. And in the underrepresented community, like art is a really big thing. So, do
Yeah.
you have an art background? How did you marry the two together? Like, what did your journey look like?
No, I don't have a hard background. I work with National Gallery of Arts in Washington D.C. in
Okay.
DC area. Yeah, so that's an art gallery, right? So in the art gallery, but I'm in the RT department, so we do multiple projects. So there are many projects that we deal with, and so we provide multiple techniques or multiple uh, the technology to make
Mm,
sure that we can help them to anticipate, or to uh, keep record, or I cannot say a bookkeeping record, but it is like the very expensive stuff. The paintings
yeah,
are very expensive stuff and everything. So they want to make sure that there are labs, there are scientific labs, and you just want to make sure that they can have the pictures. They want to make sure that the pictures are not how old the pictures are. Like if the
right.
picture is, if the picture is painted in 1800s, 1700s, 1600s. So this is kind of thing that we are trying to help them. And Azure AI and other AI tools, especially are very helpful, to determine the age of the painting, like how aged it is. They can
Different
monitor
techniques.
it and everything.
So like
Yeah,
knowing different techniques that would be used in different periods.
yes, different periods, like the evaluation, if the paintings is actually, painted in 1700s, or it is refreshed in 1800s or 1900s, something like that. So it's like it's a lot of stuff that we can visualize through
Mm,
AI, and it because it read patterns, right? So we can read the patterns of the each in the painting, and we can see like how it is different, how if it evolve, or if it repainted, or if it have some upgrades time by time. So kind of like that.
oh wow.
Mhm.
So I know you mentioned that you use several different program languages. Do you feel like there's a similarity in program languages as in learning a different language, like a spoken language or even slang? Do you feel like there is an underpinning of similarity there?
So programming languages are evolved. We will see like from last decade, the programming languages are evolving so much. Like the developers are using multiple tools, like it start from the waterfall, and they were the agile processes before, but they were not that robust. So before, like the languages evolved, the popularity, like say, Java, C Sharp, they were very much adapted by the community of software developers or software engineers, like until last decade. But if you from within last 5 years, the shift is toward Python, and which is very proficient in the programming language. The Python is very efficient and very great in visualization data, and it's also good for serverless computing. And the people are switched from the regular platform engineering, or regular infrastructure based software application development, to the cloud computing, right? So where the people want to have all the developers really uh, anticipate, or they really focus on the functional applications, or they anticipate upon the how could they do the serverless computing and DevOps and Dockers and everything. So the backend infrastructure as a Python is very famous nowadays. It's very going great nowadays.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
What do you think, like in a child, what do you think the natural interests or inclinations of someone who wants to be a software engineer would look like? Like, what would the childhood of somebody that would be a great candidate for software engineering look like?
Well, everyone have their own experiences, right? So so it depends, like what how the kid is growing up, right? So everyone have their own circumstances, and when you are a kid, you mostly like in my culture, like where I'm from, like the mostly the kids grown up, and they have just go by the book, the back home where I came from, right? So back home, people just like do like, oh, okay, this is the syllabus, this is the course, and we have to read through it and everything. But like I remember at my 10th standard, I figured out that I'm really good in computers, and I like doing computer basic programming, HTML or CSS, or when we get some projects, in my college life, it really interests me. But as a childhood, I can say you cannot figure it out until you are in your higher standards, especially in 10th standard, 11th standard, where we get the exposure to the computing. At my time, like back in 2004, 2005, I was, the computers were not so common.
Yeah.
And at back home, right? Here, not in the US, I'm not talking about US, but the computers were not that common, and then the exposure was not that, right? But in here in US nowadays, I can say, or the population is growing very rapidly. Kids are getting smarter. They have all the access for the YouTube, or they have all the access to other technologies, iPads and everything. So kids are really, if kids want to evolve, or they want to have some background about IT, or if they think they're interested, I think if the one of the parent is the IT professional and something, they should have to let their, sometimes they just have to provide their child with some kind of background with the with the computers. If they're doing something, working from home, they can have their kid sitting beside them and see if the kid took some interest in what my dad is doing, right? And if it's doing like some kind of programming and everything, and you can ask, oh, it seems interesting or something like that, how you can do that and everything. Then you can, in the early childhood, you can easily get to know, like, if your child is interested in computers or not. I think that's my strategy, but everyone thinks their own way.
Got it. Got it.
Right.
What is the most surprising thing about your industry? Does everybody need degrees? Are there certifications that makes it easy to access jobs in the software engineering or intelligence industry? What do you think?
Well, this question is very easy to answer, right? So like the biggest player in the market nowadays, they don't care about degree, right? If you look at the Bill Gates, he's a a college dropout, so he don't need degree. Or if you think like if someone wants to hire Elon Musk, right? And if it does not have a degree, that is a good idea, to hire Elon Musk. So the thing is, I think like it's all about passion. It's all about, if you like doing something in IT. IT is very versatile. So this is you can have infrastructure engineers, can have a software engineer. Cybersecurity is really big.
Mm.
because all the companies they want to, or organizations, they want to secure their data, right? So nowadays the DevSecOps process, DevOps is growing. It's a very growing field in the market nowadays, and there's a big shift in the industry from last at least like from last 5 years, toward DevOps. Kubernetes and containerization, and so people are trying to do the serverless computing and all that stuff. So in that process, even though cybersecurity is very big, people do the testing, software testing. They do the application security engineers, a lot of stuff. So there is a big market out there, especially in US, or I can say in all developing countries in the world. The IT is the backbone of every organization.
Mm.
You cannot have your systems running. You cannot have your HR cannot perform the work. Your accountants cannot perform the work until they have the computers, they have the network, they have the softwares, they have the licenses for the softwares. So IT is a big market. So if someone wants to be in IT, I can suggest, because in college you can just learn from the book, right?
Yeah.
And but if you want to have attain knowledge about how the industry work, the people have to do a certifications are the key role. And even though nowadays people are always looking for the certified people. If someone have their LinkedIn profile, and if I have my LinkedIn profile, if I have a degree over there, but if I don't have the certifications listed, right, then it will certifications can add up to 50% to my job security. So
Wow.
you can, because a certification is kind of the, you can say it's kind of authenticity, authentication, that, oh yeah, this guy
Mm.
knew the stuff, right? So I think, yeah, degree is just like what you learn from the books. But if you want to succeed, and you want to have some gain some knowledge and everything, I suggest people to, there are many tools nowadays available online. You can easily spin up the sandbox accounts into the cloud computing environments. It's a free trial, and or take a free trial subscriptions, and start your work, right? Get your hands dirty, because people cannot learn until they get their hands dirty. And there are many organizations like a cloud guru. A cloud guru is one of the big is a big platform for learning platform. Actually, people can go subscribe to a cloud guru. There are a lot of courses over there. You can easily go and just like learn anything you want. They have a Linux Academy as well. So people who want to learn Linux, they want to do a Windows platform, they want to learn programming languages, just do like subscribe to these, especially subscribe to A Cloud Guru, because they are so good in cloud computing. And because I learned a lot from. I really admire.
Got it. What I take from what you're saying is like IT is like the vital organs or lifeline of an organization because of how far technology has brought our society. Would you say that?
Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. Because the technology evolves every day. We were using legacy systems, in the last decades and everything. We have to build up the big infrastructures. We have to have the big data centers where we have multiple servers, and we have to have the routing configured, switching configured, and
Wow.
and applications should be running on top of them, right? So we
Yeah.
need a lot of team members. We need system admins. We need software engineers, and vice versa. Like we need a lot of people into our organization to work for us, right? But nowadays, if you see, all that technology shift toward the cloud computing, right? So
Mm.
if we talk about like in Virginia, I'm in Virginia right now. So in Ashburn, there are big data centers, right? So the cloud computing, the Amazon AWS, or the cloud native platforms, they took all the hustle. So you don't want to have a big data centers at your own personal location. They do it for you, right? So you can just like spin up your subscriptions, you can spin up your accounts, and then they can do the other job, right? You can get the maximum storage you want, the maximum the infrastructure. You can set up your infrastructure. You can get as much as storage you want. You can spin up your applications within no time, and you can have deploy applications with the programming language of your need. Right? You want to run your application on Java. You want to run your application on Python. You don't want to run on application on the any other basic language or whatever. However you want to spin up your application, you can just like you can do it the winners, right? So yes, it's a big shift I see. People move from their own locally hosted IIS based websites or the websites running on I saw many companies, they have the website running on GoDaddy, right? That was so really simple, right? GoDaddy was there and they were just running their whole application on GoDaddy, right? But they shifted the transition, and it's a big thing nowadays, right? So it's a big shift.
This is my most exciting question. What book do you suggest anybody who wants to get into your field start with?
Sure thing. I can. I have to. I can get it real quick. Give me a
Okay.
second. All right, I'm back. So yeah, if someone is really interested to learn about the machine learning or artificial intelligence guy, this is the book that I'm reading. This is the entire course for beginners to the advanced level. So this will tell you how they. So this is basically a machine learning with PyTorch and skip rules. So right. So this will tell you about a lot of stuff about the deep learning technology. It says develop machine learning and deep learning models with Python. Right. So this is one of the most famous book that I use, and this is really helping me a lot. To attain my to clear my cybersecurity or the my AI artificial intelligence concepts. Right. I can also suggest like. I don't know. I also talk about security, right? Security is also one of the most famous and most versatile, field in our IT infrastructure technologies. So this is one of the book is for the CISSP. I don't know. People should be familiar about that a lot. But this is specifically for the people who want to do the security policy making and security infrastructure monitorization and everything. So people can learn about the CISSP as well. So, but my most favorite was the for the AI, the machine learning that I showed you before. So
Okay.
people can, yeah, these are really helpful books. People can start learn through it and do a lot of patterns. The book will tell you the platforms. You can create your own infrastructure environment and just start deploying some resources based upon the AI technology.
Beautiful. I have one more question. Does your organization have any programs for getting underrepresented into information technology, into IT or in, I know it's arts, but do they have any programs for underrepresented?
Well, not at the moment. It's still evolving.
Yeah.
We are still considering multiple platforms. We are still trying to see what is the best catch for our need, and
Yeah.
we are still trying to see and if we can write our own code and we can develop something that we can help in our organization. So we are still uh, working. We are still try to learn more
Yeah.
technologies, and based on that, we will be trying to build a road platform and go
Perfect.
from
Beautiful. Okay, so this is my last question. What does STEM mean to you?
Well, it's like we can it's a base route. STEM is like I can say is like it's a very important task. Where you the STEM means to me is like you have to make sure that what are the basics of the technology you are working on, right? So
Mm,
if you know the roots of your work and your technology, like how could you exceed and how could you do that, then that is what STEM mean to me, right? Then
yes.
once you knew the basics, once you knew how to so everything is by step, right? So if you know, like you already have passed your first step, you will go like from step 2, step 3, and so on, right? So it's the main thing, it's the main stuff. You should know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
how could you what you can do more to evolve. So
Yeah.
it's always about evolving. So
Yeah.
make sure people who are listening to me at the moment, please make sure that whatever you do, like if you want to be a security guy, make sure that you do your security plus, and then this is the very basic certification that can land you into the cybersecurity field, and from there you can grow and do multiple certifications. And if you guys want to do the artificial intelligence, it really appeals people over there. I suggest them to have some basic knowledge
Mm.
about the programming, especially for the start learning with how they can do the develop small applications using the C sharp or the Java applications or like that. So yeah, I can
Beautiful.
say yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast today. Until next time, say bye to everybody.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care, guys. Have a good one.